That sometimes it's easy to lose sight of the impact of really small things. And there's just been lots of things recently that have had me thinking about how sometimes it can just be easy to be overwhelmed by the need in the world or the hurt and pain, and feel like how can the issues are so big, and how can I often just feel like a very small person with very small reach, very small influence. And especially the way that the internet has pushed everyone to feel like you can only really have value or importance if you have a big platform, if you're monetizing everything that you're doing, if you're...
I feel that.
and that's just like, the reality is that's not me. That's not even that's not available to me, or even something that I would be moving away from the core of who I am as a person to pursue that. And there's just been a lot of things recently that have made me realize it's not that all of those things are bad, but I've looked at my own life and talked to a lot of friends about what are the things that actually have been life-changing. When you think about even New Year's resolutions and thinking about what you want for the future and how do you actually accomplish that. And for me, New Year's resolutions have never been transformative for me. Often the things that have really shaped who I am in a different way are very small things, very small practices done over a very long period of time. The things that have shifted my parenting or relationships have been these really small things extended over a long period. And I've seen in a lot of different, I've talked with friends too about when they look back about what were the relationships or the people and things that really made a big difference for them. Often it wasn't the giant event that they went to or the really big program. It was, they name a person who got together with 5 other people that I've talked with women where they're the thing that changed my life was this one woman who met with me and 5 other girls for my teenage years. And that's not something that you can scale. The value actually gets lost when you there's a value in the fact that it is small.
I agree with you. I think so much that's put out there is not really that great, but it's packaged well. It looks good, it's shiny, it's gold, but it glitters, but it's not very valuable. And the reason I kind of push you to share some of your ideas, because I think they're valuable, because they're not about the glamorous. They're about the small things that really build. And even the video I made, I was like, well, yeah, my wife's deep. That little comment you made about just doing the ordinary well, I think that's transformative. And that made me think about even taking my kids to school in the morning on a rainy day. Who wants to be out here driving? It's cold, it's windy, but how can we do that well and build on that? So I really gravitated, attached that. And I listen to you more than you think, but that was transformative for me to even my thought life, because I think a lot of students that I work with think my life is all grandiose. They think, oh, Mr. Brown, when our neighbors finally realized that I lived here. And then after they got to know me, it's oh, it's just Mr. Brown. Now it's hey, and that's just normal. But I think there's some powerful about choosing, even your mindset, to do the ordinary well. Because I think a lot of us, because of social media, we see all the glamours and we gravitate toward that. And we miss out on just the power and even the joy of just doing the ordinary well. Mm-hmm. So that's why it just kind of stuck with me.
Yeah, I think sometimes when something ordinary is done well, it is so beautiful, and those are often the things that then we want to share. But social media can then sometimes we're watching other people sharing their moments, and it can have things then turn performative where we end up posing for a picture. But so often I want to think I've even seen photos of an experience that I was a part of, and I think that was portrayed as what was presented was look at this beautiful moment. But I was there, and I know that was not a moment of connection. That was a moment of people striving and putting on a face, and there was maybe 30 seconds where everyone got their faces together and smiled real big and snapped a photo, but then everyone disappeared to their own, that the picture doesn't actually reflect the life that was being lived. And I think the other can be true too. And if I'm going to go one way or the other, I want a rich, full life of excellent, ordinary moments. And maybe my Instagram will reflect the like beauty and richness of that, but I would rather pick the reality of beautiful, ordinary moments, excellent, ordinary moments, and let Instagram fall behind rather than leading with the performative images and then find that like my everyday experience is constantly falling short.